my name is Katie Weatherup, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I love offering these 7 journeys in 7 days format. And in this format, I do a journey at whatever point in the day I have the opportunity, with the intent that you receive it in perfect timing. And the journey includes energetic interventions to support the topic, and it includes a lot of messages and information from the guides. So you get an MP3 with a journey report about the work that was done and the suggestions from the guides on the topic. And the one that I want to do next is about feeling safe in the world. And so if I look at all the history of my life, everything that's happened to me, overall I have had an incredibly safe life. There have been a couple of incidents that weren't so great, but overall, like, my actual experience of physical safety has been really, really high. And when you look at the statistics, there's a man who did a ridiculous amount of research, and he wrote a book called Angels of Our Better Nature, Why Violence Has Declined, and he makes a statistical case that anywhere in the world, humans are playing the nicest with each other that they ever have. We have unprecedented levels of safety. And yet, I notice how much my mind goes to, but what if? What'll happen as I age? What if I get sick? Will I be okay if? What if a scary person, comes to my house and tries to break in? There's all this like mental chatter. And I really noticed that in the course of moving. I moved into a beautiful house that I absolutely adore. And yet the process of being unsettled really activated a lot of this. And so I believe for a lot of us under the surface, regardless of how safe our world is at this moment, we have a lot of this lack of safety. And I want to go take deep counsel with the guides and ask them about how we can help clean that up, how we can come into a different relationship so that we can enjoy our lives, so that we can enjoy what's good now. And then when something swings out of balance, we can trust ourselves to bring all of our resourcefulness and all of our things that support us in the world, our own efforts, the people we're connected to, whatever it is, we trust that we can activate all of that and address whatever arises. And if we go really philosophical, we could say, there's a lack of stability in the human condition and being in bodies that age and die, and that's true as well. But again, I just don't want to spend my life missing the moment because there's this underlying lack of ease, and I also don't want to construct things that give me the illusion of safety that aren't really, really aligned. Like, our instincts will work for a lack of change, even when change would be really on the side of our quality of life and what would really support us. And actually there's a lot of evidence that having new experiences and new emotions and letting things cycle actually tends to be the fountain of youth in a way. So all of this has kind of been moving around in me. And so what I'd love to offer for myself and for anyone who cares to join me is some deep work on this to help us to feel safe in the world. And what I would offer, you may be listening to this and thinking, but I do have this health problem, or I do have, something that really does activate things. And what I would offer is just to consider for a moment that the way our body reacts when it doesn't feel safe is all about the instincts. We get all of this adrenaline. So if you really are a firefighter and you will need to dodge, something falling in a burning building, sure, have at it. Let that adrenaline response serve you. But if you're doing a desk job, for example, or you're in a different condition, really those chemicals in the body, the adrenaline, the stress response is very, very hard on our health. It really hammers away at it. And the instincts, they're sort of underworked in the modern world. So I don't have to worry about jaguars jumping out of my pepper tree and trying to eat me, and I don't have to worry about, a great variety of poisonous snakes and, insects and the neighboring tribe coming over, like, I'm in Humul now, and, the people up in Alpine are probably not going to invade with spears and try to kill everyone and steal our winter supplies. We're not dealing with this. So the instincts are tend to hammer away on the fear of an uncomfortable emotional experience. Like, if this thing came to pass, there would be big feelings. So they almost treat our emotionality like the poisonous snakes and the threatening neighboring tribe, and sort of watch those as if they could hurt us. And one of the things I notice is I do a lot of choosing in the background where I'm not really thinking about it to avoid an uncomfortable emotional experience. And I'm not saying that I want to fling myself into situations that would not be pleasing to me, but I also want to trust in my resilience that if something comes up that's a misalignment, I can, make choices and adjust and course correct. A lot of us didn't have that option when we were children, so we associate if something emotional comes up, we're stuck in whatever the situation is. As adults, we have a lot more options to, do something else or be somewhere else or engage differently, but we don't always realize that. So when our instincts aren't hammering away, when we're not feeling unsafe, it's a lot easier to say the things we need to in relationship, like, hey, this isn't working for me, let's collaborate on making this better. Or, being able to choose to shift our employment to something that's more aligned, or step away from a relationship that's gotten toxic, or not need whatever substance to keep our numbness bar really high, so alcohol or, whatever we might be using to numb things out. There are just all of these quality of life, good for the body, good for the mind, good for the spirit, shifts and changes that become available that are undermined with this fear, like I'm not safe in the world story running in the background. And I know we could talk about how, modern news feeds into that and all of those kind of things. But I would offer that this is like the hardware of the human design with this fight or flight, and the modern conditions turn it in this new way. So at a time that we are living in a world that is unprecedentedly safe, like so many humans are safer than our ancestors have ever been, and yet we still wrestle with feelings of lack of safety on, at least in my case, a pretty regular basis. If you're watching this and this doesn't resonate at all, hooray, I'm super happy for you. You can sign up for one of my other 7-day, 7-journey offerings. But for those of us who have that sort of mind can run off and create possibilities in the wee hours of the morning about how things could go badly, I'd really love to invite you to come with me as I take counsel with the guides on how can we really feel safe as a felt thing, because even with the facts being that way, the felt thing, and sure, there are always these outlying possibilities, but if you think about, even if your house got broken into once in your adult life, there are an innumerable number of days where no one broke down your door and nothing bad happened. So statistically speaking, on any given night, the odds are really high, really, really, really high that we're going to be perfectly safe. And yet that's not necessarily what our feelings of safety reflect. So I want to invite a shift in that for myself, and if this resonates for you, I'd love to share this with you. My name is Katie Weatherup, and I'm a shamanic practitioner, and you can learn more about me and my work at my website, which is handsoverheart.com.